Hey, what's up, man? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of My Take. So, I want to talk about Javante Tank Davis on basically giving Frank Martin a rehydration clause. And he asked the question, what's the problem about a rehydration clause? Now, the only thing that I don't like about it is that when you put the stipulation on a fighter, that means that it's a possibility that this person may be weight drained and couldn't rehydrate to the weight that they felt most comfortable in. That's the only issue that I have with it. And not only that, when he fought fighters, he was a heavier fighter at times too. So, he didn't ask for somebody to put a rehydration clause on him. So basically, when it comes to boxing, man, I just want both fighters to be at their best. Now, I think Javante Davis uh, a Hall of Fame fighter, a future Hall of Fame fighters. He just needs certain key fights in order to make those things happen. But I'll say this, man. Far as Tank Davis, I think he's putting a rehydration clause because he's a little nervous to fight versus somebody like Frank Martin. Now, we don't know how good Frank Martin really is because Frank Martin literally struggled his last fight. And to be honest, some people think that that's the whole reason why Javante Tank Davis actually decided to take this fight. Because if he would have looked vulnerable, they felt like he wouldn't have accepted the fight. So therefore, I think Tank Davis is either playing some psychology on Frank Martin, or he just a little bit scared that he'll come in bigger and he'll be too much for somebody like Tank Davis. But I thought he believed in his power so much that it wouldn't have mattered. He had a tweet that ended up running across that somebody had brought up, which is why I'm talking about the topic. The tweet is basically saying, I'll show y'all too. I like to show you guys basically what I see as well. So this is what Javante Davis has said. There we go right there. So he said, I didn't know about this S until just now. Well, yesterday, when I got out of the gym. He says, but I'm sure, for sure, I have to abide by it too. But why everybody mad? We have weigh in the same weight, right? And come in the fight at the same weight. What if the F is a problem? So basically, he's saying like, why do people got a problem that he got to come in the same weight that he weigh in? Now the issue that I have is that he never really did it to another fighter. So therefore, either this dude is playing psychology or he's a little nervous about fighting somebody like Frank Martin. And I mean, Frank Martin isn't proven, but he did enough. He's undefeated. Nobody has the crack his Da Vinci Code, to defeat him. So just like Pitbull Cruz was, Pitbull Cruz, nobody knew of him, but he was a legitimate fighter. Everybody, that Tank has fought, being somewhat of a surprise. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know what Frank Martin is bringing after suffering a devastating. I want to say win because, like, I mean, he did win, but he looked it bad doing it. You know what I'm saying? It almost put everybody to sleep. So therefore, I don't give him, too much credit. They say you only as good as your last fight, and his last fight that he had was terrible. So according to what I've seen, I mean, I feel like Tank Davis wash him. That's if I go by the last fight that I seen. But I think Tank Davis could potentially lose this fight, to be honest, because I don't feel like he's focused enough. Sometimes, fighters they get too caught up in everything else. Like for instance, I'm gonna do a a podcast on this one as well, where Tank Davis is basically saying like, he only won. Usyk only had one good round, and they gave him the fight. So, and some people which they get in their feelings and start talking about, who has he fought? He's not a judge. He don't need to be judging nobody. He ain't this. He needs to worry about Isaac Pitbull Cruz. He needs to do this, that, and the third. I mean, first of all, he is a fighter, so he can judge the fight. He know how to judge the fight. But I'll say that Usyk has some good rounds, but we can't just say that what he seen was just completely out of touch. Can't say that. You know what I'm saying? He's a really good fighter, but let me know what y'all think, man. Why y'all think that Tank Davis is putting a rehydration clause on somebody like Frank Martin when he have never put a rehydration clause on what's that one fighter that he had fought at 140. He didn't even put a rehydration clause on him. And to be at 135, basically putting a rehydration clause on Frank Martin, I think he afraid that Frank Martin would come in too big, like Tyson Fury did with Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder is a knockout artist, but he couldn't get Tyson Fury out there because Tyson Fury was basically too heavy for him. So he was able to absorb all of Deontay Wilder punches. So I think, man, is either psychology or Tank is afraid. I mean, are nervous, right? He's nervous about this fight, and that kind of give Frank Martin the edge. If you ask me, if he's worrying about certain things like that, you know what I'm saying, instead of just worrying about coming in and in shape. So y'all let me know, man, what y'all think, man. Y'all definitely let me know what y'all think, because I think that let me see. He says how do you feel about the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul? Well, first of all, the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, I think Tyson is out his prime. Jake Paul, he can punch. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on if Mike Tyson get tired or not. If Mike Tyson is able to have endurance, I believe that Mike Tyson would definitely do well versus Jake Paul. And if he come in very quick and fizzle out throughout the rounds, I think Jake Paul will be able to get the victory. But it depends on what Mike Tyson come in. That's what it all depend on. Jake Paul is an okay fighter. I wouldn't give him good status, but him being where he's at now and Mike Tyson being 57, I still think that it kind of evens out because Mike Tyson is a lot slower. He's not as fast as he used to be. He may still hit hard, but he may not have the endurance. So that might. Hey, hot dog, man, I appreciate you subscribing, man. I appreciate that. But yeah, I think that it just depend on what Mike Tyson come in. Now we already know Mike Tyson in his prime is no match for somebody like Mike Tyson in his prime. Jake Paul is no match for that type of person. But right now, the caliber of fighters that he been fighting, I think that this is a step up for him to be honest. You know what I'm saying? If you really look at it, this is a step up. And once he's get this fight in the bag, and I hope Mike Tyson, ain't getting paid to take a dive, because we seen that in boxing too. You know what I'm saying? I think Mike Tyson is he's out his way, but I think he believes that Jake Paul is a okay fighter, and he really believe that he can beat him. Outside of that, man, I really don't I really don't see too much going on. I think I see a lot of clinching. I think I see somebody like Jake Paul getting nervous and start doing a bunch of clinching, and then wait till Mike Tyson get tired and then start trying to go to work. But other than that, I don't see him just going toe to toe. I don't see that. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, let me know what y'all think, man. Do y'all think Tank Davis though is afraid of Frank Martin? And if so, do y'all think that he has the advantage now? Frank Martin, do you feel like he can get it done? Do you feel like the sky's the limit if Frank Martin actually get it done versus Tank? Do you think he'd be a draw just like him, or do you think that basically Tank Davis know he's gonna wash him and gonna move forward to the next fighter. And also, I want to see Tank fighting Lomachenko, because that was a fight that was supposed to be had that we never ever saw. And I think Lomachenko, with his footwork and the experience that he got, he fought Devin Haney, he just beat Cambosis as I predicted. He beat him bad, and I just think that Tank Davis is almost 30 years old, so he needs to be fighting the marquee fights. He don't need to wait till he's older. He's in his prime. He needs to fight, even though Devin Haney got beat pretty bad. I mean, even though it was concluded that Ryan cheated, but Devin Haney may not be the same. We got to see what type of fighter he is after that. But I believe that if we're looking at it, he needs to still fight Devin Haney. He needs to fight who else? Pitbull Cruz for the rematch. He needs to fight Ryan Garcia for the rematch, and he needs to fight what's the other fighter? Shakur Stevenson. Those are the fights that Tank Davis needs to be lining up. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, thank y'all for tuning in. That's all I got for that one. I'm about to come right back on, but this one's going to be for basketball, the ladies watching the WNBA as well. And, just give them their credit they just do. But hey, man, I appreciate all y'all tuning in. Y'all didn't have to be here, but y'all are. So thank y'all.